Na Bula FM rake tale taki.
Gonga elambasa Bula FM number 2 na serre.
Ando tale tak na borong en Bula FM number 2 na serre su.
Tau vai tu garaki au reba tu ni estima au ando tale tak na borong en Bula.
Tolo bina Fiji Bula FM number 2 singa toka.
Bula bina era roga Bula FM number 2 tikola.
Bula FM number 2 en serre.
In this bulletin, Australia's Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Brett Mason, is in the country for meetings. Mahendra Chaudhry's lawyer files submission in court. And government provides assistance for institutions looking after senior citizens. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate, and this is FBC News. Australia's Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Brett Mason, is in the country to enhance their relationship as Fiji gears up for the September 17th elections. Mika Longa reports Mason met with the Foreign Minister Ratu Inoke Kumbombola this afternoon, the first official meeting of his two-day visit.
The Australian senator described the meeting with Kumbombola as frank, like between two friends.
Very, very productive, and he was very charming, spoke about deepening our relationship between Australia and Fiji, and we're going to have dinner tonight, so we'll be discussing more about it even this evening.
The two men discussed the upcoming general elections on September 17th, among other bilateral issues.
The whole country is now excited and geared up to the election. It's only about five months away. Yeah. Our Prime Minister is just about completing the registration of the political party.
It's exciting, isn't it? Because even last night at the airport, when I arrived at about 1 in the morning, even then they had voter registration at 1 in the morning at the airport. So that was extremely impressive. So clearly Fiji is very excited about the forthcoming election. And I spoke about that with Ratu Inoke and about the preparations and registration of parties and people. So there's a lot to be done, and I think it's an exciting time in Fiji's democracy.
Mason's visit followed the renewed bilateral relations between Australia and Fiji and Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop's talks with the government in Suva earlier this year. Today, Mason discussed more what is to be expected from his government towards the elections.
Well, we're already offering assistance, of course, as you know, to build capacity, to ensure that the systematic running of the election is appropriate, and also potentially, of course, being part of some monitoring agency or monitoring countries. But let's see how that goes.
Mason is expected to meet with the Attorney General and Minister of Elections tomorrow before he leaves Fiji to discuss more details about the upcoming general elections. Mika Longa, FBC News.
Just 2 days before sentencing, the lawyer for Labour Party leader Mahendra Chaudhry has filed new documentation in court. Shanal Sivan has the details.
Mahendra Chaudhry's lawyer Anand Singh made an arrest of judgment application before Judge Justice Paul Madigan in the Suva High Court. The application was made under Section 239, subsection of the Criminal Procedure Decree made in arrest of judgment. It states the accused person at any time before sentence, whether on a plea of guilty or otherwise, move in arrest of judgment on the ground that the information does not, after any amendment which the court has made and had power to make, state any offence which the court has the power to try. The submission file states that in essence the application seeks to argue that the information do not state an offence of law. Chaudhry has been found guilty on charges of failure to surrender foreign currency, dealing in foreign currency otherwise than with an authorized dealer without permission, and failure to collect debts. The matter relates to about 1.5 million Australian dollars Chaudhry received from India, and he kept it in Australia. He says the Act states the Minister for Finance and the RBF has the powers to give approval and not the Governor. This, according to the defence team, is bad in law and is a defective charge. Singh asked Judge Justice Paul Madigan to quash the charges. Justice Madigan questioned Singh as to why this was not brought up in the trial, and this application now needs to be made in the Court of Appeal. Singh said this point was not discovered earlier. The prosecution responded saying the application is ineffective as the trial has ended and Chaudhry is awaiting sentencing. Judge Justice Madigan will give his ruling on Wednesday, a day ahead of the date scheduled for Chaudhry's sentencing. Shanal Shivan, FBC News.
Institutions looking after the welfare of senior citizens will now be able to provide better services thanks to grants by the Social Welfare Ministry this afternoon. Minister Dr. Chico Luveni says this is the first time the institutions were given such assistance by the ministry. Shireen Lata reports.
A $110,000 in grants was given to the 7 institutions around the country looking after the elderly. Social Welfare Minister Dr. Chico Luveni says the institutions will now be able to better look after elderly persons. Senior citizens who are mentally challenged, permanently disabled or are homeless are taken care of by these institutions.
I would like to express my sincere acknowledgement to all the 7 established institutions represented here today for their enormous contribution to providing services throughout the years to the residents of the homes for older persons in Fiji. Government is firm on its commitment to address through policy and program intervention.
This initiative was well received by the various institutions.
It's a timely funding to us, and we'll use it in a proper way so that we can get more funding from this government department.
So the grant is going to help us with some of the equipment that we are needing for our new kitchen.
We are so thankful for this grant given to us by the government that we can fulfill the objectives that we have, and we have a structure in place which we call Senior Citizen Association, that we can really implement the vision of the NCOP.
Dr. Luveni says awarding the grant from the government will see an enabling and inclusive society for the senior citizens in Fiji. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
More than 160 people turned up for a police recruitment drive in Nausori today. 122 applicants were selected after they were put to the test. Savara Tambor reports.
Silla High School in Nausori was the venue for the first of 6 recruitment drives that the Fiji Police Force will be conducting over the next 2 weeks. Aspiring police officers waited anxiously for the process to be and wait for their turn to be called in.
First phase includes the actual meet with the applicants and sorting and verification of their documents, whether they meet the criteria that is being set. And once we have verified those documents, they have to sit through a police aptitude test.
I want to join the force because of it's interesting, and I want to serve the people of Fiji and to be able to prevent crime and help young youth of today.
It was a really interesting career for me. That's why I want to join.
Similar procedures will be carried out in Singatoka, Lautoka, Tabua, Lambasa and Sabu-Sabu.
We want to have recruitment from all corners of Fiji. So previously we observed that people could not travel at the main centers because of the distance.
Those who are interested should not have any previous conviction, a 50% pass in English at Form 7 level, and should know how to swim. Successful applicant will march into camp after the passing out of future police officers in June. Sabera Tabua, FBC News.
Coming up after the break, students sign up for Korean cultural lessons.
Gold FM is #1 here in Singatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nel.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about Batu Cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sadi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The jet-set town Nandi has been declared smoke-free as of today. Nandi will now be part of the towns and cities around the world that embrace the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, of which Fiji is a signatory. Akosita Tale reports the initiative has been greatly welcomed by the World Health Organization Framework Convention on Tobacco Control.
Smoke-free zones have always been enforced in indoor and closed places.
Now outdoor zones are being declared smoke-free. The initiative is a first for the Pacific and has been recognized to fit a new movement that started recently overseas.
You should understand and possibly be proud that your initiative is fitting in a very interesting new international trend. And you are one of the very first possibly examples, at least in the Pacific region to do so. Because that is not only protecting people from smoke, but it's also about denormalizing tobacco and smoking.
This is a milestone achievement for Nandi Town Council as it takes the lead role in declaring towns around the country smoke-free. The areas include the Handicraft Center, the Municipal Market, bus stand, all restaurants, all public bars and all nightclubs.
We will not only discourage people not to smoke, but more so inculcate behavioral change for the young generation not to indulge in smoking.
With government fully supporting this initiative, it hopes that it will also encourage other townships to promote a smoke-free environment.
We have been talking to special administrators in Nasinu, Lambasa, Savasavu. All are very keen to take the message to their communities, to the areas where there's a high density of people coming together, to be able to encourage a tobacco-free environment.
This initiative should also set a platform for Nandi Town's entry to be a part of the 1,000 cities globally who are part of the WHO's Healthy Cities Initiative. Akusita Talei, FBC News.
150 primary school students began learning about Korean culture and language at the start of the school break today at the Suva Museum. Chief Guest Minister for Youth and Sports Viliamenau Poto said the initiative not only gives local students a chance to learn about Korea, but it also strengthens the relationship between the two countries. Eleanor Tarangai View reports.
The rich and vibrant Korean culture is admired around the world. But here in Fiji, not much is known about Korea.
Very little about Korea is known to Fiji. This program was first conceived and initiated last year as an endeavor to provide better understanding of Korea in general and its culture.
Minister for Youth and Sports Viliamenau Poto thanked the students for putting their school holidays to good use.
It certainly will greatly assist them to develop positive relationships with each other and understand a broader range of perspectives and develop the knowledge, skills and tolerance needed for participation, especially in our multicultural society here in Fiji.
Napoto adds in exposing themselves to a new culture, the students are better preparing themselves for the world out there.
I have no doubt that the children will enjoy this 3-day program and the target of 150 students. It is certainly an opportune time for Fijian children and students to learn and appreciate the Korean culture, language and music and some form of sports.
The program covers brief presentations on Korea, its culture, language, flag and map, taekwondo and traditional arts. The program ends on Wednesday. Eleanor Tarangai View, FBC News.
Despite heavy downpours, a strong 6,000 crowd attended the FBC Park Jam in Suva over the weekend. The event was very popular, especially with school children who are now on holidays. Rishika Kumar has more on this.
The Park Jam is a major event on the FBC calendar. Despite the downpour and power blackout, the crowd was not disappointed.
Well, we had the popular bands, popular bands who are popular right now with their numbers. We had Makare and Rosi Loa and Waikula Ketavua, and there was just they were very happy after when we talked to them. Because the response from the crowd was just awesome. It was good, very good.
According to the stage manager, this was the biggest crowd the FBC Park Jam has ever seen.
On behalf of everybody at FBC, I'd like to thank the Suva fans for coming out in numbers. Despite the rain and everything that was against us that day, they were with us until the end.
The FBC has planned more events for the public later in the year. Dashka Kumar, FBC News.
We turn to sports now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Good evening. In sports tonight, Vodafone Fiji Sevens captain wants to secure Olympic spot, and Fiji Mbati coach Rick Stone hopes that the World Cup bond will strengthen his side's chance for a place in the Four Nations. Details coming up.
Gold on Tower में it's only Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
बाके हर घर में खाली मिर्ची FM बजे. Mirchi FM it's hot.
Best sound, best music. Mirchi FM rocks and records.
Nani का #1 station है Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot. Mirchi FM it's #1 in nursery.
Mirchi FM is hot. हम लोग Mirchi FM रोज सुनता है. Mirchi FM जागो मामा.
Mirchi FM it's hot.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team wants to set a platform for the 2014-2015 World Series by winning the last two tournaments. For this season, the side has had a mixed bag of results so far, but for the final two events, the team wants to be consistent and rake in the titles.
It's very important for this season because I think next series is qualify for the Olympics. I think the top four in the next series are automatic qualify for the Olympics in Rio, so I think this is a good platform to try and win these two tournaments and set a benchmark for next season.
The Glasgow Sevens gets underway on Saturday. Netball Fiji today officially announced Julie Hoornweg as interim coach of the Fiji Pearls. Hoornweg guided Fiji to 6th place in the World Netball Championships in 1999. The former Melbourne Vixens coach will prepare the team for the Tri-Series early next month against Northern Ireland and Papua New Guinea. The Fiji Pearls will then defend its Pacific Netball Series title in the Cook Islands in June.
Well, I'll be having a look at them today, a training session, and we've worked out a plan for the next 2 weeks leading up to our +1 series, and so I'll be having a good look at them today and then seeing where they're at. It's a while since I haven't seen Matilda for a long time, and the others are all brand new, so it'll just take me perhaps a few days to work out where they're at. But having seen Fiji netball before, I'm absolutely certain that there'll be lots of athleticism and lots of flair.
Hoornweg will hold the post until the completion of the PNS, after which Netball Fiji will announce its next coach, who will take on the role full-time. After losing 2-1 to Amical in the first leg of the OFC Champions League semi-final yesterday, Ba will have to work much harder in the second leg on Saturday in Port Vila. Indra Singh with the details.
This is what happened in the space of a few minutes. Could this be the end of Ba in the Champions League, as the 2 away goals scored by Amical could prove to be handy?
Well, yeah, in the second half we gave 2 goals away, and that's the difference in this game.
Taking an early lead set the pace for the hosts, but the failure to maintain it through blunders and misses proved to be costly at the end.
We made 2 mistakes and we were punished by Amical, but nonetheless we had many chances to finish off, but we couldn't capitalize on that.
Amical had to endure the enemy territory and the odds to get the maximum points, which gives them the advantage in Port Vila.
Knew on the balance of play that if we hung in there, we'd get one. And to get another one 60 seconds later was a bonus.
Ba now needs to win by 2 clear goals if it is to stand a chance of qualifying for the final, a task which can't be classified as impossible.
Look, at the end of the day, it's still only halfway. It's half time now. We have another 90 minutes to go in Port Vila, so we need to make sure that we put on a professional performance, that we maintain the intensity we had today for 95 minutes. They're not out of the tie by any stretch of the imagination.
6 days is all that remains for Ba creating a miracle, or Amical continuing its journey in the Champions League. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Good evening.
All the raw sugar manufactured in the 2013 crushing season has been sold to London refiners Tate & Lyle. Fiji Sugar Corporation Executive Chair Abdul Khan says the last two shipments of 60,000 tonnes of sugar for London will leave in the next few months. A total of 155,000 tonnes of sugar crushed last year would be exported. Khan says a total of 180,000 tonnes of sugar was produced last year and 25,000 tonnes was kept for local consumption. Weather time again with Trish. It was a little damp at Park Jam over the weekend, don't you think?
Well, it did forecast it might rain on Saturday, and it certainly did, but the showers did not take away the festive mood. That rain arrived due to a slow-moving trough of low pressure just to the north of Fiji that brought us the easterly winds, cloudy skies and showers. The weather today is much the same. Suva, Nadi and Lautoka and Ba had cloudy skies and rain in the morning and scattered showers in the afternoon. Savu and Lambasa had showers early in the day and turned out to cloudy skies in the afternoon. Today's temperatures: Ba on 31, whereas Nadi, Lautoka, Savu and Lambasa was on 30 degrees. And the lowest today was the capital Suva on 29. Now with tomorrow's forecast for Suva and Nadi, Lautoka, Ba, Savu and Lambasa will have rain and a chance of thunderstorms all day. The image of the day is of the sunrise overlooking Nadi town.
So much for that, Trish. The main points again. Australia's Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Brett Mason, is in the country to enhance their relationship as Fiji gears up for the 17 September elections. The lawyer for Labour Party leader Mahendra Chaudhry has filed new documentation in court and a ruling will be made on Wednesday. And the jet-set town Nadi has been declared smoke-free as of today. To our poll segment and the results from last week's poll question, we asked, are you familiar with the elections voting process? 72% of respondents said no. This week's question, we're asking, are you satisfied with the services provided by municipal councils? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's all from us tonight. Till tomorrow at the same time, good evening.
बात तो बा है बा में रेडियो Fiji 2 के कौन सा के रोके ऑनलाइन क्लियर
रेडियो Fiji 2 रकी के लोग ज्यादा सुनते हैं।
नैनी में हम सबकी पसंद रेडियो Fiji 2।
तालेबू के लोग रेडियो Fiji 2 सबसे ज्यादा सुन रहे हैं।
मेरी पसंद रेडियो Fiji 2, मसूरी में सभी को पसंद रेडियो Fiji 2।
तावा में रेडियो Fiji 2 सभी कोई सुनते हैं।
रेडियो Fiji 2 रॉक।
रेडियो Fiji 2 I love you।
देश की धड़कन रेडियो Fiji 2।